Hello and welcome to this brief installation video on installing the multi-pure Aqua drinking water system for the countertop. What we're going to do today is just in a few minutes show you how simple it is to install an Aqua drinking water system. So for those of you who have one, this is what it looks like when it comes from the factory here in Las Vegas. And this is the box, and we'll just go ahead and open up a brand new Aqua. And I would advise you to go ahead and keep the box as intact as possible, just in case there's any reason that you might have to send it back. So feel free to keep this box handy. Inside the box there will be various pieces of literature from the marketing team, as well as some order forms for signing up for our auto ship program, as well as a copy of our triple guarantee, which we won't get into right now. We'll just do the installation. So put this to the side. This is how it looks when it comes out. Pick it up with some paper. Here's the filter wrench, the adapters for the faucet, the Aqua itself, the hose and diverter. And you'll also see here I have some other items that are helpful when installing a countertop system. Some paper towel, I have a rag, and I have channel lock pliers here. Might be useful. And finally, the installation manual. Okay, so we'll go ahead and put that to the side. The installation manual, certainly something that you'll want to take a look at, spend a few minutes with it. You'll see that the actual installation instructions take up only about one page of this, so it's very simple to do. There's other information in here, such as the certification information, frequently asked questions, troubleshooting, as well as all of our corporate contact information. So let's get down to it. This is your Aqua. One of the first things you want to do is make sure that the housing is on tight, that the housing is put together tight. Now here in the factory, we go ahead and we install the filter for you. I'll just show you what that looks like. It should be pretty easy. There's the top. Here's the filter cartridge itself, which, like I said, comes pre-installed from the factory. One thing you might want to do when you're inspecting the unit when it first comes to you is make sure that this black gasket is seated properly down here in the base of the housing. There's a tiny little bit of lubricant on there, which is okay. That's the way it's supposed to be. We want to keep that lubricated with a non-petroleum-based lubricant, like a silicone-based lubricant would be good for that. So just push the cartridge in. You don't have to twist it. Just kind of push it down there. Screw the housing back on and make sure it's snug with your wrench. And that's about it. Now, I want to assemble the unit. Again, it might be handy to have a knife on you when you do this. Hopefully I won't cut myself. Packages up oil that one. Okay, there we go. So it's almost foolproof. There is a large stem and a small stem. The small stem is a 1/4 inch tube, and that plugs nicely into the back here. You push it in. I don't know if you can, there you get from the side there, and it fits almost flush all the way down to where it's seated. And then the same with the bottom two. Push those guys in, give them a little tug backwards, and that should be it. So you have that installed. Now, next thing you want to do is find a good spot for your Aqua. This is our demonstration kitchen that we're filming right now in Las Vegas. So we have some other stuff on here. We have a faucet from an under-counter unit, but that's for another video. So for the countertop, you just take your faucet here, and now this might be a little bit simpler than it is in your home, but here we can just take off the diverter valve, or the aerator that's on the current faucet, and we want to check and see if this will fit. Now this doesn't fit with the threading that's on the current faucet, and this is why we include a bag of adapters. Well, the pressure's on here for me to remember which is the right adapter, but you can try them all out. I believe it's this one. So you see that there's already the gasket on there from the previous aerator. So this one has a gasket in it, that white thing, and it's seated in there, so you just thread that on. Righty-tighty, lefty-loosey. And then you take the diverter from the Aqua, and same thing, you just match up the threads. Gently put it on there. Now, I'm able to get this on tight enough just with my fingers, but for some of you, you may need to use a wrench. So what you can do, and if you don't want to chew this up, you can take your rag and kind of protect the plumbing from the teeth of the wrench and grip it on there and just tighten it up a little bit. But I think this should be sufficient, just hand tight. So we'll go ahead and do this. Now, the exciting part, go ahead and start it up. Cold water only, remember. And here's the functionality of the diverter is just this simple little slide bar, and it's a lot easier to see. Go ahead and stay in there close. And turn it on. And you see, with it in this position, you get your regular tap water, unfiltered tap water. And when you switch it over, this is when the water is now flowing through the filter. Now it's going to take a second because this filter housing is full of air. You can probably hear the air. There we go. Now the first water that comes out of there is always going to be black. It means the filter is working properly. And that, those are just some carbon fines coming off of the carbon block filter. Okay, now that we've done that, what I want you to do is turn it off and unscrew this little diverter here. Or unscrew this little aerator. And the reason we're doing this, we're going to flush this out just a little bit because all that carbon that came through here, there's a chance that some carbon chunks will get stuck in there. So we're going to turn it back on here, and we're just going to rinse off these little mesh screens that are in there. And that should be good enough. Place them back in there, hopefully. It's live TV, folks. And you screw that back on. Again, make sure it's snug. Now, we'll start it up again. And what I want you to do, turn it upside down. That gets all the air out. That should be good enough. Let it flow to waste for about 25 minutes to properly charge the filter. And you're good to go. There's the installation of a multi-pure Aqua in less than 5 minutes. Good luck.